Thank you for watching the Ward 1 Forum, the two candidates for the Tupelo City Council race. My name is Taylor Vance, and I'm the local government reporter for the Northeast Mississippi Daily Journal. Today we have the Ward 1 candidates with us. We have the Democratic nominee Geraldine Brinkley, and we have the Republican nominee Chad Mims. Let me establish a few ground rules for the forum. Each of you will get a 2-minute opening statement at the beginning. I will then ask a series of questions to each of you. It will be the same question presented to each of you, and you will have 1 minute to respond to that question. Then I will ask a specific question to each of you, and you will have 1 minute to respond to that question as well. Then at the end, you will get a 2-minute closing statement, and if an opponent criticizes you, you will have 30 seconds to address that critique. Are there any questions? All right, now we will move on to the opening statement. We will go in alphabetical order, so we'll start with Ms. Brinkley. Ms. Brinkley, you have 2 minutes for your opening statement.
My name is Geraldine Brinkley, and I am running for City Council Ward 1. I am married to Clifton Brinkley, who is a retired code enforcement manager for the city of Tupelo. We have 4 children and 6 grandchildren. I am an entrepreneur and co-owner of Brinkley Builders and Service. We are the overseer of Ecclesia Ministry, where we teach and serve throughout the various cities. And I decided to run for city council. Actually, the Holy Spirit prompted me to run for city council. So I shared it with my husband, and he was like, yeah, that's what you ought to do. And so after I talked with a couple of people in the community, they was like, yeah, I think that would be great. So I made the decision to go down and fill out the papers, and I just want to be a voice in my community as well as the city. I want to see the city to continue to move forward. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to run for city council.
Okay, thank you very much. You have 2 minutes for your opening statement now, Chad.
Hello, my name is Chad Mims, and I'm a native of Tupelo. I was born and raised here. My wife of 20 years, Aletha Mims, and my 3 children, Olivia Kate, that's 15 years old at high school, my 11-year-old Marley that goes to the cottage school, and then I have a 5-year-old son named Will that is at ECEC, which just graduated. So I decided to run for Ward 1 City Council for various reasons. When the position became open, some friends of mine reached out to me and asked me if that would be something of interest to me. Having a young family, you question the idea because of the busy nature of the campaigning of the position. However, due to my job and the flexibility of COVID, it allowed me the time to campaign aggressively like I knew I would need to campaign for the primary and moving into the general election. So obviously the city of Tupelo is in a great place right now. We want to continue to move forward and keep it a great place. We want to attract young talent and make it a place that people want to move back to. And so I want to be a part of that, and I'm excited about the opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mims. We will now move on to the question portion, where I will ask each of you the same question. The first question is about infrastructure. What do you think the most pressing or urgent infrastructure need is in Ward 1, and what do you plan to do about it if you're elected to the City Council?
All right. So as far as Ward 1 goes, without analyzing and being a part of the City Council, knowing what roads are the most important, obviously you would know that Coley and McCullough Boulevard and part of Jackson Extended are heavily traveled roads, as well as the Inville Road as well. That being said, I'm very aware that the City Council has budgeted money for improvements for our roads, overlays, and so forth. As far as our ward specific, as I mentioned, that would be something that I would get more information to make those decisions. But I know that's an important and on the agenda currently for the city council. So,
okay, thank you. So, same question to you about infrastructure. You have 1 minute.
I think the main thing is our roads. And that's one of the reasons why I was prompted to run, because in my community, the road condition is very dangerous. Our roads doesn't have any shoulder on it, and they have deep ditches. And so there's where the speed limit is set for 30, but no one observed that speed limit. So we are in a community, but our road is still like a major thoroughfare going through to Enville Road or Butler Road. So that's one of my main goals, is to make sure that I will definitely be looking into the budget of fixing the road. And I have traveled throughout Ward 1, and I think Walsh Road is a very dangerous road for our children and for the family that lives on that road.
Now I want to ask about services that impact low-income citizens in our area. The first question is about affordable housing, which voters have indicated to us is the most important issue to them this election cycle. Ms. Brinkley, do you think the city has a problem with access to affordable housing, and what do you think the city can do about it going forward? You have 1 minute.
I do think there's issue with affordable housing because a lot of people can't live in certain areas because of their income. So you have to try to meet their budget and making affordable housing. And I know with my husband working for the city for over 30 years that there are programs out there to be able to help with affordable housing grant programs. And I just think I would like to look further into more resource that would come in to be able to help in affordable homes.
Okay. Same question to you now, Chad, about affordable housing.
Yeah, excuse me. So I know that the development on Ida Street was an incredible accomplishment of our city, working with private developers to create a community that people can be proud of. I think affordable housing, those that unfortunately due to the building materials costs right now, we're in a situation where until those come back down, it's going to be difficult to find a contractor to be able to build a house in that price point and still be able to be profitable. I think that's a great example of what they've done on Ida Street, or what we've done in the city of affordable housing, that I think can be duplicated in other areas as well. So I think that is a great model moving forward.
Now I want to go on to the issue of homelessness in our area, which can often go hand in hand with access to housing. For years, the city has worked with Mississippi United to end homelessness, or MUTE, to address homelessness. I'm curious if either of you think that the city should be doing anything differently in its approach to homelessness going forward.
So from my understanding and talking to some of the officials with the city, the homelessness is being addressed pretty aggressively. Unfortunately, due to the mental health issues, a lot of the homeless families and individuals have been offered help, and some choose not to take the help. With that being said, there are some out there that are not in that state as well. I think we have to, as a city, continue to move forward and look for opportunities what we can do to help the homeless population, not only for them and their families, and also for the city of Tupelo as well. That's something that you want to provide opportunities for them, but also keep the area to where it's clean and safe, and people can, that are in our area, in our city. So,
all right, thank you. Same question to you, Ms. Brinkley.
Yes, and I agree with Chad. I think the city is doing a great job, and the programs that are set in place. Actually, I help feed the homeless every Sunday with an organization, and we talk about the other needs besides, them being homeless because of mental problems. Some people is not going to stay in a home, So I think the city is doing a great job, and those community organization that is involved is also doing a great job in the city.
The city currently has a police advisory board that it was created to be a liaison between the community and the police department. Do you support the existence of the city's police advisory board? And if so, do you have any proposals that could strengthen it to make it more effective? Or do you think anything should be done differently to the advisory board at all?
Well, I think the police advisory board is a good thing from what I have heard from members that is involved in it. I think what I would do different is that I would want them to be involved in the community, bringing the community into the things that they see and hearing from the police, and allowing the police to come into the community, being involved with the people, so that I believe when you work together, you can get things done better, and knowing what's going on, even in the police force, and allowing the police to even get to know the community better. So I think it's a great thing.
Okay, thank you very much. Same question to you, Jim.
Yeah, so I think the police advisory board is a great thing. I mean, the details of what's being done currently is something that I would love to know more and have more information about. If elected, I would be privy to some of that. One idea that I think would be instrumental moving forward as far as the line of communication to some of the is have the neighborhood some of the neighborhood association presidents be part of this board. I think that there is probably a breakdown in some of the information or communication, and I think that would be a direct line to neighborhoods to kind of see what are we doing and how can we do it better. We can always improve, so would just be a suggestion I would have.
One of the major appointees the mayor will have to make is the next police chief. Now, the question to both of you is, what criteria would you use to determine if the police chief should be confirmed or rejected?
So, one thing that my understanding is that whoever the mayor appoints, that the city council can request an interview. And I think that's a process that would be vital to sit down and really get into the details of about what are the pros and cons to see if that individual is qualified for the position. Obviously, you hope the mayor would put forth someone that has the correct qualifications, but having that one-on-one opportunity, I think, would be beneficial. So to get into the details of what I would expect, that would be my, after an interview, I would think that at that point I would make that decision. So.
All right. Your turn, Ms. Brinkley.
Well, the two main things that I would look for is, one is experience, and the next one is integrity. Whoever they put before the council, those are the two main things that I would definitely look for in the candidate, as their experience and their integrity. Do you have the morals to stand up for what's right? And so those are the two things that will definitely be something that I would look at.
The next topic is on the city's population. The latest census results showed that Mississippi was only one of a handful of states that lost population the past 10 years. Even though we don't have the local census numbers yet for Lee County or for Tupelo, I'm curious, what do you think that each of you could do to work with the new mayoral administration to both grow the city's population and retain the city's current population that it has?
Well, one thing I would look at, because I do have nieces and nephews here in the city that are graduating, and most of them are saying, when I go off to college, I'm not coming back. So I would look at ways of bringing them back, having things in place for them to do when they come back into the city. And those that have already left, possibly trying to get them to come back, helping the city to grow more. But we have to have I think broadbands in every place, so they can be able to access computers and everything, because really I know computers are the way of the future. So those are things that I'm looking at.
Okay, thank you very much. All right.
Yeah, so I think that, first and foremost, we have to keep our public school system strong. The Northeast Mississippi hub is right here in Tupelo. I mean, we drive the whole northeastern part of the state, and quality of life events we've seen with the concerts returning. We've seen with the Wine Downtown that was a week ago. We had a great turnout. Our downtown is growing right now with the hotel, with the buildings that are going up. There's private public partnerships with Century Construction did. And so that's one thing. We have to not only raise up our children and have the ability to have a great public school system, which also attracts businesses into Tupelo, but also have opportunities for people that live here and to attract people to come back. So I think that there's it's a multifaceted approach. I think it's something that I'm very passionate about. That's why I'm running for the position with a young family, because I'm in the midst of it. So,
Mr. Mims, you have talked throughout the course of your campaign about the possibility of renovating the golf course at the Bel Air Center, which is in Ward 1. I know these are early plans, but do you mind explaining that proposal? And do you think now is the right time to renovate the golf course at the Bel Air Center, given that over $1 million is being spent right now to build a new building to house the Bel Air Center? You have 1 minute.
Yeah, so I think, again, going back to the previous question of how do we grow and retain, and that falls in line with the quality of life. I think, the Bel Air Golf Course, there's some really smart people behind the idea on that. I think we've looked at some private public partnerships with that as well. This is something that the idea would be to provide a place for Tupelo citizens at possibly a discounted rate to go continue to play golf, but also have a destination location to bring in tourism, to bring and stay here hopefully for multiple nights and spend money and raise our sales tax revenue. So I think that these are the type of things Tupelo has to do and invest in to continue to grow and compete against the Huntsvilles and the Florences and things like that. So,
Ms. Brinkley, you've said at public events like the Mayor's State of the City address in Ward 1 that you believe more of the city's tax dollars need to be spent on local infrastructure in certain neighborhoods in Ward 1. Have you thought about how you would specifically accomplish that if you're elected? You have 1 minute.
Well, actually, I would want, like I said, for me, is what's more important. Is a golf course important, or is people's lives more important? To me, the lives of the people are more important when it comes down to infrastructure. We want every area of our ward to look beautiful. We want every area of our ward to be safe. And when you have a safe community, I think it's better for the community and all those that are involved and around, because we have been trying to get something done on this road for years with the previous administration, and nothing have been done. There has been death even on our road. And my thing is, I don't want nobody to get killed, or my children or my grandchildren, when the bus pick them up, that cars are speeding so fast that they have to skid in order to stop, and they could hit my child. So
okay, thank you very much. She went a little over about 10 seconds, so do you want 10 seconds to say anything else? Okay, All right. I was just going to offer it. Okay, we can move on to closing statements now. And you each have 2 minutes for your closing statements. And this time we start with you, Ms. Brinkley.
Okay. As I say, I am Geraldine Brinkley, and I am excited about running for city council. And I just want to let the community and the city know that I am here to be a voice for you. I want to be here to listen to your concerns, your ideas, and be able to bring them to the board and possibly get things done in a manner that our city will continue to move forward and grow, and that we will be able to bring other people into our city. So I'm just excited, and I'm just asking people to go to the poll on June the 8th and vote me as your city council, Ward 1.
Okay, thank you very much. You have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
I want to again thanks the Journal for having this event, giving us the opportunity. So, you know, I'm excited. I think this is a great opportunity. Our city's in a great place right now. We've got great things. We're fortunate to be in Tupelo, that you have an engaged community that's involved with great public schools, great hospital here. And then you just look at how Tupelo is a hub for the Northeast Mississippi. And so that being said, I would like to be your Ward 1 City Council because, you know, I'm involved right now in the midst of it with 3 young children involved in the community. I'm out there, I'm listening. You know, I'm one that wants to take ideas and take them to the council and try to do what's best for the city, not just our ward, but for the city. And that's what I'm asking you to come out on June 8th and vote for Chad Mims for Ward 1 City Council. Thank you.
All right, that's it. Thank you very much.
All right.